Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nayri, also known as Wedding Fashion Expert. Today we are talking about how to pick your veil and if you should even wear a veil on wedding day. Before we dive into this topic, please be sure to, of course, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below of anything you'd like me to make a video on and anything you'd like to learn or know about. I am here for you every step of the way as you plan your special day. Alrighty, veils. I personally am a huge fan of a veil. If a bride does not wear a veil, it's the one thing that they always come back and tell me that they regret because they look back on photos and it's not there. So the veil is really for the photos. It's not so much of what it does in person. Yes, of course, in person, it adds that extra level of drama and beauty and just aura along as you walk down the aisle. But in reality, brides also think that I'm wearing the veil for such a short period of time, maybe this is an area where I can cut back and save on cost. However, the photos are what live a lifetime. So even though, yes, you may be only wearing your veil for 30 minutes to maybe even an hour, hour and a half, depending on what that looks like for your special day, it's not a long period of time that you're in it. However, the impact and the level of drama that it has in person, particularly in your photo and video, is truly everything. I'm going to give you tips on what I recommend when you're picking your veil. And let's talk about a blusher. Wearing a blusher, I covered this in one of my previous videos, but covering it again just in case you didn't tune into that one. A blusher is intended only to walk down the aisle in. I recommend whoever gives you away flips it back so that you enjoy your entire ceremony without a piece of tulle in front of your face. I also teach you how to properly wear your veil with the bouquet in a previous video that I've recorded, so please be sure to go tune in to that. So the blusher is only intended to walk down the aisle. However, a blusher is also really, really dramatic for photos. There are a lot of photographers that will put the blusher or the veil on top of you and your fiance and get really magical photos between the two of you. This is really a photo op more than anything. If you do photos for the gram, why wouldn't you do this for your special wedding day for the memories? I'm going to go change into a dress now and show you what I recommend in terms of veil lengths along with a blusher length and what's appropriate and why I think the way I think on them. I'll be right back. All right, so here we are in our first veil options. I'm going to quick cover a few things so that you know with any dress that you try on. First things first, the color of the veil and the tulle. It's not always 100% a perfect match with the color of the dress. So for example, if you see the coloring of this dress, this is ivory tulle, even though this is a little bit of a nude underlay, that's okay. But you want the colors to complement each other. It doesn't have to be a perfect match. So in terms of veil trims, you can go with a raw edge, just like the blusher that I'm holding, that I'm going to show you something with in a moment. You can do a trim on the edge. It could be a satin, a fabric, horsehair, crystal, you name it. Any type of trim is an option, right? Lace, you could do so many different things. Now, this is a shorter veil. My preference is always a long veil. Go big or go home with the drama. There's a reason why I feel that way. I like the longer veils because they're weighted down, less of an opportunity for this to blow in the wind if you're outdoors. Also, this creates an interruption in the back for me. I like to elongate the look and have it be one beautiful vision. So I'm going to show you what that would look like. However, I have so many brides that do opt for a short veil, so this is 100% personal preference. And the beauty of a veil is that you get to customize the feel of your dress. Of course, there will be other brides in the same exact dress, but the way you accessorize and you create your wedding look is personalized to you. So that's where you get to totally personalize and style your look based on how you'd like. The blusher that I'm holding, I always recommend it to be as a separate piece unless you're doing what we would consider, what we call, there's so many different names for it. We call it here at LOVELLA Bridal a butterfly veil, where it's all connected, which I do love the look of that. And the way that that would look essentially would be if you were to place a comb in the middle of the veil and you would have the blusher be all one piece and then this would flip back. no part of this is glamorous, but that's essentially also an option if you're not doing the 2 pieces. I like the 2 pieces because let's say you have a really long veil for the main veil and you want a little piece to wear in your hair for the reception. You could flip your blusher back and leave it just like that, where you go into your reception with a little bit of a look like that there. And also I like the blusher because the blusher can just separately, you can add that in for just the ceremony and you don't have to have the added volume for the rest of the day. And a lot of people ask about hairstyles and blushers. As you can see, my hair is down. I've put the veil in and it's no problem at all. Here's the blusher that would just go just like that. And then you just flip it back and it adds for more volume, which is what I think is really, really pretty and helps just elevate and complete your look. It's like the icing on the cake, although I do know that there are couples out there that love deconstructed, non-iced cakes. So that's okay if this is not your vibe and this is not the icing on the cake for you. Totally cool. I think it's definitely necessary to have for photos. Next, I'm going to show you a long veil with absolutely nothing on it and also the matching veil to the detail in the dress. That's another thing that you can consider. With a dress like this that has a lot of work going on, you can keep it really simple and go simple, plain, nothing on it. You could do a trim of some kind that would go beautifully, or go even more drama, do the matching embroidery, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. When it comes to also choosing your veil, the one thing I recommend is do it through photos. So you'll want to take a photo of the back of it. You'll notice when there's additional detail, it ends up being an extension of the design of the dress. Or if your dress is completely plain, you now get to jazz it up with a veil. So I'm going to switch to the 2 long veils so that you can see what that looks like. I'll be right back. Here is a classic staple of a plain long cathedral length veil. A cathedral length veil is anywhere from 100 inches to 120 inches. Super important. Pick your veil while you're in your dress. Veils take a long time to order, anywhere from 4 to 6, some of them even 8 months if it has a lot of embroidery. Be mindful of that, and you want to pick it while in the dress for multiple reasons. You will find less expensive veils online. However, they're less expensive for a reason. The fabrics are not the same that you get in bridal stores. It's not this crisp, sheer fabric. Some of them are thicker, so you don't really see throughout it and see the detail of the dress. Also, notice the width of this veil. Veil pricing goes up when it's wider. So if you've ever been to a wedding with a really narrow veil, that's a less expensive veil. Not that one's greater than the other, but look at how beautiful the width, it completes the look of the back of the dress. And it just adds this continuous line, and it just makes it, just elevates the look so much. Next, I'm going to show you the matching veil to this dress. Here is the matching veil to the dress. As you can see, lots of embroidery in the front, which is stunning, just elevates the look. If you were getting married in a cathedral, this would be a no-brainer because you just want that added level of drama. It is extremely longer than the last veil I just put on, so I'm going to walk forward so you can see what that looks like. The design on this veil is so intentional because the continued embroidery starts where the train ends. So this becomes an extension of the dress. So I'm going to move forward so that you're able to fully see what that looks like and the level of drama that you get. And of course, this is on the carpet, so you don't get the contrast and the detail in the way in which you would in other areas in which where you'll be taking your photos. This is also stunning, takes it to the next level. I personally do not have a preference whether you go with embroidery or keep it simple and go plain or go with a beaded trim. It's all your personal preference, all phenomenal options. The only thing I will say here is please remember to make this decision while you're in the dress and don't procrastinate on it because they take time. So many times I have had brides who have fallen in love with a veil, they wait until their alteration appointment and we can't get it for them in time. So if there's one thing that you take away from it, don't procrastinate on this decision. You make your decision while in your wedding dress for the dress, the veil, and all the accessories. Next week, I have a video coming up for you on how to properly accessorize your wedding dress, so please be sure to tune in next Wednesday for that video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in next week's video.